The second very important reaction you'll learn about is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process of using light energy to create sugar, or specifically glucose. Organisms that perform photosynthesis are green plants, algae, and some bacteria. Really, anything that is green outside, anything green on Earth, goes through photosynthesis. The formula to photosynthesis is very important as well. Star it, underline, circle it. It's carbon dioxide and water go into a plant. A plant also needs light energy, creates sugar, and creates oxygen gas. On the left are the reactants, carbon dioxide, water, and also light energy. All of those are used in a plant. And the plant produces, so therefore the products, are glucose and oxygen. Unlike cellular respiration, photosynthesis does not occur in every cell. It only occurs in cells that contain chloroplasts. Those cells tend to be plant cells. So again, photosynthesis only happens in cells that have chloroplasts, and those usually are plant cells. So let's get a little more detailed here. How actually does photosynthesis work? Well, when light hits a plant, it goes into the plant cells and goes all the way to the chloroplasts inside the plant cells. Inside the chloroplast, there are special molecules called chlorophyll that absorb the light energy. There's a crazy chemical process that happens, and in the end, that light energy is stored in the plant as glucose. This is why we eat plants, because they give us energy. Think of all the plants you eat. All the fruits, all the grains, all the carbohydrates, all the vegetables, all of those are from plants. You're just eating their stored energy, and they store their energy as glucose. We steal it from them, eat it, and get energy from glucose through the process of cellular respiration. Plants are full of glucose, which was made by photosynthesis. The most common misconception that every student has is that animal cells perform cellular respiration and plant cells perform photosynthesis, and that's it. This is not true. Plant cells have both mitochondria and chloroplasts, which means they do both cellular respiration photosynthesis. So I'm going to say this again. Plant cells do both photosynthesis because they have chloroplasts and cellular respiration because they have mitochondria. Animal cells just have mitochondria, so animal cells just do cellular respiration. Let's look at the two formulas side by side. Remember, the mitochondria does cellular respiration and the chloroplast does photosynthesis. Do you guys see anything similar about these chemical formulas? Hopefully you'll notice that the reactants of one are the products of the other, meaning they're just reverse of each other. Look in cellular respiration. Glucose and oxygen go into a mitochondria, and out comes carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Well then, look at photosynthesis. Into a plant goes carbon dioxide, water, and energy. In this case, it's light energy. And out comes glucose and oxygen gas. Weird, right? They're just opposite equations, opposite chemical formulas. So let's look at how this works in a plant cell. In a plant cell, oxygen gas is used in cellular respiration, and so is glucose. So oxygen and glucose go into a mitochondria of a plant cell. In cellular respiration, you produce carbon dioxide, water, and some ATP. That CO2 and that water are used in photosynthesis along with light energy inside the chloroplast of a plant cell, and they produce oxygen and glucose. So I want to make sure you guys see the relationship here, that what one thing produces, the other one uses. Cellular respiration produces carbon dioxide and water. Photosynthesis uses it. Photosynthesis produces oxygen and glucose. Cellular respiration uses it. Notice they are dependent on each other. Cellular respiration needs photosynthesis, and photosynthesis needs cellular respiration. Well, let's zoom out even further. So we're no longer looking at a plant cell. We're going to look at a whole ecosystem, a group of a bunch of animals and plants living together. Elephants are animals. They have mitochondria. They do cellular respiration. Animals take in oxygen, take in glucose, and they produce some CO2 and they produce some water. Well, they live in an environment that has a bunch of trees or shrubs or grass that go through photosynthesis as well. Photosynthesis takes that CO2, takes that water and then the light energy, and converts it into oxygen and glucose. So animals are dependent on plants. and plants are dependent on animals. It's one big cycle, one big happy family. If you got rid of the plants, you would get rid of photosynthesis, and therefore there'd be no oxygen or glucose available. If you got rid of animals, you'd get rid of a lot of CO2 and a lot of water, and there wouldn't be enough for plants. So it's one big cycle that works together. That's all I have. Write down your questions and ask me in class.